huge for us in terms of this game. So I appreciate that during tough times in the weather. Congratulations to Austin Peay. They got a good football team, and for us, it's always been next. So we'll open it up.
What stood out to you about the way Chauncey ran the ball today?
Really physical. I thought he got yards after contact. He was running violently. He's got really good power in his lower body. He runs behind his pads. You know, we've noticed that all camp. He's broken a lot of tackles. I thought he had a little more burst and spring in his step today. And we got yards after contact, which is big for us.
What about Dwight? Just how he's progressed in 2 weeks.
He grows, he gets better. You know, he's continuing to develop, get size and strength. He's got to get a little more size and strength to run behind his pads. He seems more electric. You know, you hold your breath when he comes in there because you feel like he could break out any time. But then when he's running east and west, sideways, he's got to cut it up and go somewhere. We had a couple runs where we ended up not getting anything out of it, and they weren't great runs. They weren't well blocked. But I'd like to see him get vertical, get the ball back a lot of scrimmage. But really pleased with Dwight and just excited for him because he works so hard every day.
Kirby Gunner said that he needs to work on his confidence, especially in the passing game, and he said that starts in practice. So what do you need to see from him maybe in practice so that translates into the game?
Well, I actually need to see what he does in practice in the game. That's the biggest thing because we take a lot of periods. We took a lot of periods last week to do throwing periods with rush and pressure pass periods. Play, you know, where you have to play in the pocket and win things in the pocket. So we did a lot of that last week in practice. A lot of play action shots where people try to add up and do things. So he did a really nice job of those things all week. He's just got to continue to grow and get better at that and get comfortable with it.
What kind of impact do you think the injuries on the offensive line to this point have had, especially with that group coming together and gelling?
I mean, I don't want to lean on that. I mean, we've had injuries every year we've been here, right? I don't run from injuries. We're certainly not who we need to be with Ernest out. One being out is a factor, but I mean, it's not like, I mean, Juan wasn't here last year. Ernest has played more football, but it's the moving parts right now. You know, the guys bouncing around, this guy's here, this guy's there, but that's part of it. When you have injuries, you got to have a guy step up, be ready to play.
What disappointed you most about that 2-minute drive right there?
What disappointed me the most is the fact we didn't score.
Yeah, but was there just
Which play, I guess you're asking?
Yeah, or something.
There was like 5 plays that were within inches, right? So like they did an unbelievable job managing the clock with 1 timeout to get it there. And then I forget what play got us to that spot, but then it was 3 plays where we actually had either a run or a pass completion that didn't get in. So like any one of those gets in, or, I mean, they actually helped us by calling a timeout. Because we're gonna clock it and we're gonna lose a down. They call timeout, they give us another down. And we get the extra down and we don't cash it in. Then we get another down because of a penalty and we don't cash it in and we don't cash it in. You know, looking back, I probably wish that we would have ran the ball earlier, but the thought was that you don't run it when you don't have a timeout, you know, until the end, and we didn't have a timeout. So it was disappointing, and give them credit, and best part is it created a little adversity for us. So I'm glad we had some.
Do you have an update on Ethan Barber's?
Yeah, it was a tough ankle injury. I'm not sure, I mean, it was a bad deal. I don't know what the prognosis is gonna be or how long, but it was a tough one to see right there, especially in the last play of the half.
Kirby mentioned the, I guess, almost 2-hour delay with the lightning. What did you do to keep the team engaged? Because it did look like they came out, like I said, in the second half and played a little bit more energy.
Yeah, it probably was more what we didn't do. You know, we had a plan of we're going to come in there, got the iPads, got the TVs, and I was like, guys, we can overdo this. So we went in and jumped right on it. And then once we realized, hey, the forecast said this is going to be a while, we took the pads off, we took the cleats off, we shut it down. We let guys go back to their piece, quiet, sit there, and treated it like a new game when we came back, and didn't try to coach them the entire time. Didn't try to just sit over the top of them, and we had a good 20-minute conversation when we knew we were going back, and then we warmed up and went out there. But the energy helped us more than anything. I think the rest helped our guys energize a little bit too. It was hot in that first half, so it was what I call slop ball. Like it gets in scrimmages, it was just sloppy. Just guys can't run, guys look bad. I mean, you think that you're like, well, you gotta be in shape. There's only so long you can play in wet ball of that temperature.
We saw Don Trail get in the mix fairly early. What have you seen from him, especially with him being a summer enrollee, just what he's done to get in the mix so early?
Yeah, I wish he'd come in here because he's been a blessing. He loves the game. He's passionate about it, very naturally instinctive. You can tell he's well coached in high school. He does a good job, and he's earned the opportunities with some of the injuries to get in there, and he's made the most of them. reserve judgment on this game, because I don't really know how he played, but, he's done a good job in practices.
With the offensive line, just how challenging do the injuries make it when you've got a group that's got to gel, work together as one, and what do you want to see from the Bulldogs looking ahead to obviously a tough road test next week?
Well, they ran the ball really well. I mean, we had a 99-yard drive where I don't know that we threw the ball outside of an RPO once. I mean, so they overpowered a group they should overpower. But as far as gelling, I mean, it's more communication, execution. They had a slip up in pass pro, slip up with a guard letting a run through and get gunner on an RPO. I mean, a couple mishaps that we have to overcome. But we got to find ways to be explosive. You got to be able to throw the ball downfield and take shots, and that's probably the toughest thing that I've been most disappointed in.
Do you think Gunner is still lacking confidence in terms of taking the shots downfield, or was today anything with Austin Peay's defense particularly?
I don't think he does it every day in practice. He does a great job of it. It's more about how people are playing us right now. And there's been 2 weeks in a row that there's just a ton of cushion. I talked to y'all about it before. I mean, if you want to play like that, you got to take what they give you. And we had some really easy throws, and we call them an extension of the run game. When you play in our league, those aren't there. Nobody's giving you that. So when they don't give you that, then you've got a chance to hit your shot. And it'll be interesting to see as people creep up in our league, are we able to throw it beyond them?
How encouraging was it to see Ellis read that hip drill and read it right and then record that first interception?
Yeah, it's great. It's good play. I mean, I think it's always a guy's instincts when the ball's in the air. Can you go catch it? It's a great play for him.
Dan said it was hard not being able to play last week. It felt good to get back out there. Just what you see from him in his first start this season.
Had a really big play on the goal line fade to extend that goal line stop. Before they flipped the quarter, he had a really nice play down there. He's playing well. He's a leader. We need him to play well. He plays a lot of times into the boundary, and it's good to have his confidence back out there.
How much does that late goal line stand for this defense and sort of help give them confidence, even though they were playing an overmatched opponent today?
I mean, it helps. I mean, any red zone stop is huge, right? I mean, that was a four-play sequence, I guess, or something like that, where they got down there and they're not in until they're in, is our saying. They're not in until they're in, and we're not going to let anybody in our end zone for free. And best defenses I've ever been around will not allow you to run the ball in. You have to force people to throw the ball to score, and that's hard to do down there in those tight quarters.
Looking at that second quarter, do you feel like at any point Gunner got a little bit rattled or a little bit shaking, kind of a pressure or anything like that?
No, I mean, if you're talking about the second quarter, there was nothing there. Threw a pass to Zach Branch, Dylan Bell didn't block a guy. Threw a ball to Dylan Bell, and it got tipped at the line. Had a great drive in the second quarter, the 2-minute drive. I mean, he had 2 drops on the plays that he sprinted out and threw a little behind cash, and then a little speed out to a Branch that I don't know whether they got tipped or not, so I don't know if it was a drop, but those were all good plays by him. So there's nothing in that window that you say is cause for concern or anything. I'm pleased with where he's at. I want him to have confidence in the pocket and make some throws.
Is this one of the more challenging scenarios when it comes to coaching? You had to move the game up an hour, and then you also had a 2-hour delay in between. Was it more kind of chess pieces? Was it harder? Or?
No, we just say be the best at adjusting. We do this every Saturday. We go eat a meal at 10 and practice at 12. So today it was eat a meal at 11:30 and play at 2:30. It was 3 hours instead of 4. I mean, we say all the time that if it changes, we want to be the best to be able to change. So we have a plan in place. We execute the plan. Everybody has confidence in it. You communicate the plan. You go out and do it. It happens on the battlefield all the time. So you have to do those things.
What were your initial thoughts on Brett and his first action since his injury?
Yeah, he had the really good pooch. I think that was his pooch. He did a nice job. One of his punts was a little flat. Didn't have the same hang, but he's been putting the ball well in practice, and he felt good enough to go.
One of you all was talking about wanting to see Nate Frazier get the dirty yards. I guess what have your impressions of him been over his first 2 games?
Been great. I mean, Nate. I mean, the biggest thing is ball security, right? Got to protect the ball. Got to be smart with the ball. Got to run through contact, see things. But he works his tail off. That's all you can ask. I'm not sit here and criticize and say there's holes sometimes there that he misses, but then other times he runs right through contact, breaks tackles, and he plays with a very good effort for us. And I love the way Nate competes and he cares about his teammates, and all those backs they love doing it by committee.
After 2 games to open the season, how ready do you feel like your team is to open up SEC play on the road next week?
We'll find out. That's for sure. You know what I mean? It's a different demeanor when you go on the road in the SEC, especially when you have not been on the road. study the stats on that. You ain't been on the road, your first road games in the SEC, we had a couple years ago at Auburn. It's always an adventure, and we've been preparing for that, knowing that all along, that it's gonna be different when you go up there, and you gotta be prepared for it. You gotta have confidence in your plan, you gotta go execute as a unit. It's not you against 100,000, it's you against 11 on 11.
You talk about, along those lines, you want to see Gunner be more confident, throw the ball from the pocket. Do you do anything differently, approach anything differently this week to kind of instill that confidence with that challenge ahead of playing on the road?
We do that every week, and I don't question Gunner's confidence in throwing the pocket. He does it every practice. Just want to see him carry it over to the game and play like he does in practice in the game. And a lot of that comes through the protection he gets in front of him. So protect well, and you'll get the completions you need out of it.
Colby Young with 7 catches, 76 yards today. I hope one of those coming in the second half. How much does his presence on the outside maybe give Gunner, a primary target to throw the ball to?
Yeah, it's great. Again, most of those were short, intermediate, RPO type throws, and again, those will change as we play other people. And he's a contested catch guy. He's a big guy. He's a weapon on the perimeter blocking. He's a weapon to tackle. So he's hard to get down on the ground. I'm really proud of his energy and his enthusiasm, the way he leads, and his personality. The team takes on his personality.
Coach, you mentioned the pass protection being a little bit leaky. What's been going on there the last 2 weeks? A couple of blow-throughs last couple of games.
Well, it's more about run game and play action. When you have a play action, you're accounting for 4 down or 3 down, and then you've got add-ins. And everybody's got to have their eyes in the right spot for add-ins, because you don't always get run-throughs. It's not pressures. It's somebody's trying to stop the run. And people try to really sell out and stop the run. Sometimes they just keep on coming. And we got to do a good job picking them up. That should help on your overs and your play actions, because there's nobody in the underneath coverage who comes naked. But they're getting home before we can get it protected. And we got to shore that up, because that's an identity of who we are for the last 3 to 4 years. We've been really good at play action shots and overs and 15, 20-yard passing game. We got to improve that.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.